All right, guys, what's going on? This is David Worrell. Welcome to the channel. We like to record these sessions so you can have a better understanding of how to do your morning prep. This morning prep is extremely important. We go over all the indices. We go over the SPY, the QQQ, the Russell 2000. Then we go over the hot sectors for the day. We go over some of the hotter stocks that we're keeping an eye on. We show you how and why we might want to take a potential trade. Remember, these are not buy or sell recommendations. This is for you to learn. If you're here to learn, then you found the right spot. So thank you for joining me. I got the whole crew with me. So if you hear me stop talking for a minute, it's because I'm listening in. We have about six with us today. It looks like 5 or 6 in the Discord with us today. We are a growing community, so if it's something that you're interested in, you can join for free. We got a free course coming out that'll show you exactly how I take breakout trades, trend break trades, and how it is back tested and it's proven to make money in bull markets. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We always like to start by taking a look at the S&P 500, but so we're not caught off guard by anything that's coming out in the economic calendar. I've already checked for you. I've done the due diligence. And I will just show you how to do it since you're learning how to do market prep. If you look at the screen here, you can clearly see we go to the economic calendar, investing.com. You make sure you're on this week. You filter by United States. You click United States, and then you click right here, the 3 stars, which is the importance. Then it'll show you what's going on this week. You can see we have nothing going on of any importance until Wednesday. Then you have your crude oil and your 10-year note auction. What I have found to be the most out of all of these, the most volatile is going to be your initial jobless claims. We want to see a higher initial jobless claims in order for the market to continue higher, but that is not until Wednesday or until Thursday. I'll actually be doing a live stream. I'll start probably around 8 a.m. so that way we can be first on that initial jobless claim so you guys can see it here first and we can watch the market move together. So make sure you mark your calendars. But don't think that this is late information if you're just joining us. The great thing about this is you can see how you can do this every day. So write down on a piece of paper how we do this, what we go through, and you can go through it yourself. If you get into a rhythm, you'll get into the flow state's where we want to be. So let's just start out. So now that we know, first and foremost, we don't have any pieces of data coming out first thing this morning that might change our outlook, we can go through the S&P 500. So I have on the S&P 500 right here, you can see we have already started our gap up this morning, okay? This, I personally don't care to see a gap up in the morning because then I'm always so worried that we're gonna pull back and fill that gap. But as long as we have a better understanding of that gap fill, knowing that that is a potential, you don't have to hold your breath the whole time when we do it. So the S&P 500 is trading at 513.55 currently on this beautiful Michigan morning. Beautiful, beautiful Michigan morning. What is so beautiful about the S&P 500 traded at 513? It is above that 50-day moving average. And ladies and gentlemen, you know that last time we were at that 50-day, we broke down, finding support at that $500, that psychological level, creating new higher lows, now above a 50-day moving average. Things are looking good. I'm seeing a lot of setups out there, or a lot of potential setups up there. But do keep in mind, we do have earnings. There are still a lot of earnings calls coming out, like Palantir, like Spirit. There's quite a few other ones, which we can go over soon. But we want to get through the indices. So the S&P 500 is looking very good here. Let's zoom out on the hourly. We like to look at multiple time frames here, guys. Don't just get stuck looking at the 1 minute or the 5 minute or the 1 hour. You want to constantly zoom out. And then if you really want to see something special, move all the way out to the weekly on some of these. It really helps you digest a full set of information, okay? So we're going to stick this back on the daily here. Above a 50-day moving average on the S&P 500. The QQQs also gapping up above their 50-day moving average. This is a beautiful sign in the market, ladies and gentlemen. I love to see it trading at 437.14. This is what we want to see as traders, a continual pressure to the north side. We want to see that continual pressure to the north side. IWM, again, we had a big pullback, but it held just below that 50-day moving average, just like the rest of the indices. Now, this IWM trading at 203.63, you guessed it, right back up there at its previous highs, looking absolutely scrumptious. right here, IWM, your Russell 2000. This is the breadth that we want to see in the market. Now that we went over your main ones, you have your S&P 500, 500 different types of stocks spread out through multiple ETFs. You have your QQQ, which is your tech-heavy ETF, which shows you all your big tech that has been rip, tater, chip for the longest time now. And then your IWM, which is your small and mid caps. And you can see they're all looking constructive here, very constructive. IWM still has a long way to go to get those all-time highs, so we'd like to see a bigger push in the IWM, but it is nice to see that it is on a trajectory to the north side. Now, the SMH here is looking very good. Zamora just messaged me. She said DG. We will actually be going over DG here in just a little bit, and I'll leave that up in the chat. Zamora, let me get through these my main watch list, and I would love to go through DG. So SMH is your semiconductor ETF. We're sitting here right at this area of resistance, and I'll just draw this line for you right here. And then I got good news. Look at this gap up, just above that area of resistance. Now, is that area of resistance going to continue, or is that area of resistance going to start pulling down? Maybe we break up through a little higher and then come back down and retest it. That 220 area might act then as support. So I'd love to see that. Now, you guys know I like to go over the RSP. Now, the RSP doesn't move too much in pre-market. We'll see more about this when it opens up. But we know that we are still below a 50-day moving average in the RSP. And this is going to show us breadth in the overall market. Why do I say that? The RSP is the equally weighted S&P 500. It's something that we all want to keep an eye on, because just because one sector, the AI sector or the tech sector or the shippers or whatever, are doing well, it doesn't mean the rest of the market's doing well. So we want to see that RSP. That also makes me want to bring up something really quick. Bear with me. This is going to be very important that we keep an eye on it. This is going to show us whether or not stocks are moving above or making new higher highs. And this is it right here. I'm going to zoom it in real nice and far for you. This right here, this is showing that there's new higher highs being made. This shows that new lower lows are being made. And you can see we're starting to get a little curl here, okay? And this is in stock charts. I can put that in our Discord if anyone is interested. This is a nice, and a lot of people will use this. If we start to make new higher highs and things, they'll use this as an area to try and get in, so that way they can catch this bigger bull run. You can see here, this starts to curl. You can start to see it curl up to the north side when we start making new higher highs, and then you can catch all of this. This was a bull run right here. This is our pullback, our 6-day bloody sell-off, and you can see it just kind of smooths out its trajectory here, okay? So that is one thing we can keep an eye on with this RSP, okay? The Dow Jones Industrial, we like to keep an eye on that as well. Why? Well, this is your grandfather's ETF. We want to see it doing well, even though it is a slow mover. Let's take a look at the dollar this morning, as the dollar looks like it's starting to plummet again. That's very nice to see, guys. We know the dollar opens at 830, and it looks like it is tanking down to the south side, as Bitcoin is trying to show some support, breaking above its downtrend here. Maybe I draw this downtrend a little bit better for us. I don't like the looks of it. Let's go ahead and do one of these. That's looking a little cleaner. Now it looks like it's broke out above it. Will it come back down, retest this area before it keeps on heading higher? We know we have a little bit of resistance up here at that 6,600 area. So we're going to see, does it want to break through today, or does it need more time? We have also GC. This is gold futures. Gold futures looks like it's tightening up here. This I've been talking about how I've been very bearish on lately. I would say though as well, I don't want to deny this strength that we have, this downtrend and this pop back up through. So gold this morning is starting to look a little bit stronger than the previous week. Okay, so actually it looks like this is popping back up. Now there's this big area of resistance here, so we need to keep that in mind. Let's look at the VIX, guys. So the VIX Volatility Index had a little pop this morning, okay? It popped up this morning. Heading back down though, so that's still looking very good in that area. So we'll go over the rest of these here soon. Let's get to DG. So Zamora pointed out DG. So look at DG. This is Dollar General, guys, and so this is what I need to do here first and foremost. I want to put this on the weekly so we can get a better understanding of what happened with Dollar General. You can see here when Dollar General just started popping off, nobody really knew what was happening with Dollar General. At least I didn't. But everywhere out there had a Dollar General in it, and it's crazy the push up that Dollar General had. It's just amazing. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. It moved very high, very fast, and then we could see it started to get a little choppy, and then we had its downfall. So you had your stage 1, your stage 2, your stage 3, your stage 4. Okay, now look, this looks like it's starting to get another stage 1. Okay, it's trading sideways. So we are in a stage 1 in Dollar General. The question is, when will we start to see that stage 2? I want to see new higher lows being made. Let's put this on the daily. We want to see new higher lows being made. So you can call this the low. You can call this a new higher low. We need to see a third new higher low and for it to stay above this 200-day moving average. Now Dollar General also has earnings that is coming out by the end of this month, and then we will see if it wants to hold this 200-day moving average. So has Dollar General maxed out? Is it going to be able to continue higher? That's the real question here, and I would love to see for it to do so. Now, if it does, if we do see this as the stage 1 and we can get a hold of the stage 2, that would be very nice to see. So I'm thinking that this might be our stage 1. This might be the start of stage 2. It could be, it's very unclear at this point, especially with earnings come up. So let me get a sip of this. And again, guys, I just want to reiterate, for those of you that are in the Discord, Beast Stewie, Dan Bob, Predator, Zamora, if you guys have anything that you want me to look up, please go ahead and let me know. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't. So guys, we're going to go over some of these hot stocks that are out right now, okay? And then once we go through all of that, I'm going to show you what I have bought in and why I'm probably just going to be managing. If I take anything today, it's got to be a 5-star setup, and I really have to have conviction, just because I'm holding on to what I want to hold on, and I don't want to interfere with any of my psyche, meaning I don't want to, my psychology in this, I'm expecting a pullback, but if we keep on ripping to the north side, I don't want anything to interfere with that either, okay? I think we are almost to that point where it's time to start stepping on that damn gas pedal, okay? We're very, very close, and I think today, if we stay above that 50-day moving average, that's when I'm going to start stepping on that gas pedal, okay? So I'm trying to be patient, I'm trying to be humble, and I'm trying to do everyone a service here by saying, we are close. We could easily go right back down to where we came from. There are some mixed emotions out there when it comes to the data, but if we look at it on a technical analysis standpoint, the overall market is looking very, very good in this area, okay? Very, very good. So I'd love to step on that gas pedal. I would love to step on the gas pedal, but I don't want to do it premature, okay? I'd rather step on that gas pedal when we're going uphill, right? I don't want to step on the gas pedal when we're going downhill. It's just a waste of gas, all right? That's a pretty damn good analogy if you ask me, actually. Anyway, guys, let's go through some of these hotter looking sectors. We have FSLR in the solar area. Why? Well, we talked about the stages. Here's the stage 1. It looks like we're on a stage 2, and we had a base breakout right here. This base breakout at, let's just give it 180, the 180-ish area. We broke out above it after earnings, and the earnings showed well, and we broke out on higher than average volume. So that's very nice to see. That's what we want to see. And you can see in the pre-market, it is also starting to gap up. We have a few other ones if you want to throw it on your watch list. NXT, ENPH, and FLNC is all looking very constructive. Now we have the retail restaurants. I've been talking about retail restaurants before anybody else started saying, hey, retail restaurants are looking hot, okay? Why? Well, we could see it. We could see it happening in the market while it was happening. So I started talking about it. I started telling everybody, keep your eye on restaurants. Keep your eye on restaurants. Even if we are pulling back, these restaurants were looking very strong. So we have CMG, okay? CMG is looking very nice. The earnings came out. They're still making money. They're totally fine with charging $8 a burrito. And most all of us are okay with paying that $8 for a burrito, even though their overhead to make it's probably $2. That's a good profit margin. So if you're looking to buy a business, this might still be something that we want to look forward to getting into. Now, remember, it's still a little extended from that 10-day moving average, and it follows a lot of its best support is on the 21-day moving average. So maybe wait for that to catch up before catching a bid. Next up is Kava. Yes, Kava. Kava is, wow. Kava's already breaking out of my area that I wanted to take a bid at. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I really want to be a part of Kava. This is more of a, I don't want to take this so extended from its 10-day, but Kava is just looking so damn strong. I might just have to relax, wait, see what happens here. So, this just popped in, breaking news. Need to take a look at this. AGBA. This is looking like a really nice setup as well. Let me just, I got a lot going on here. Thank you for AGBA. No on the paid course. Okay, guys, we're back at it. We're back at it, baby. Let's go. So this is AGBA. Our boy Danny, he was just in here. Huge shout out to you, Danny. He's definitely a huge influence on me. He's a mentor of mine, and just absolutely love his presence. I'm very humbled to be around him. If you guys hear music, I gotta figure out how to turn that off real quick. There we go. All right, guys, we're back at it. So AGBA, we have a base breakout here. This is a make or break your account. Moves 29.6%. Rip your face off. But guys, I want to just keep on keeping on with the restaurant business. Now, Kava, a little extended from that 10-day moving average, and it is breaking above the area that I wanted to get into. But I just wanted to keep a very close attention to Kava because I think a lot of your giants are also keeping attention on Kava. Texas Roadhouse, TXRH, is definitely one to keep on your watch list. Why? Well, look at that breakout, guys. I mean, it's on a continual uptrend. It's following moving averages. It found support on its 50-day multiple times, and now it rip, tater, chip after this beautiful breakout area. This is what I like about these breakouts, guys. So like if I mark this breakout area, you can see it breaks out, it comes back, it retests this breakout area. And I tell you guys this all the time because I've been watching this. I've been watching this for a long time. They always come back and retest. Not always. Probably some of your best ones, right, can be argued. Some of your best ones probably won't come back and retest that area, right? They're just never going to look back. But I can say most of the breakouts that I've seen, they like to come back and retest that area just to make sure. They're like, hey, we're not sure. We're not sure if we want to break out yet. This one came back and retested, and then it broke out on even higher volume. So that's really nice to see. We also have Shake Shack. It says Shake Shack. Yeah, ShakeShack.com. It's setting up a nice little, I don't like to call them cup and handles because if we look at the weekly, it's not a William O'Neill true cup and handle. But you can see big sell-off here, but it got bought right back up. If it breaks out of this base, that's what we'll call it, a base breakout around 108, 110. This might be a nice area to keep a very close eye on. Wing, guys, Wing held up during this whole bloody sell-off that we had, breaking out, and then I missed the buyback. So like I said, it breaks out, it comes back, it retests this area. It did that on earnings, and now look, we have another base that it's forming, a base on top of a base, if you will. A lot of the IBD investors like to see that. I like to see that if the IBD guys do too. So Wing, if it can break out here. I am not in anything when it comes to the restaurant area, so I would like to expose myself to the restaurant area. Wing would probably be a very good one to take. It's over a 4% ADR, so I'd like to see that actually happen. FWRG, so this is First Watch Restaurant. I don't know anything about First Watch Restaurant, but it's setting up a lot like Shake Shack right here, you know, bit nice little base, you know, forming right here at the top. So they're looking similar. They're moving as a sector. We have Sweet Green as well, which isn't looking nearly as strong as the rest, but I will say this, earnings is coming up here soon. So we might have a nice little beat down before the earnings, and that would be nice to take if it's better than expected. Excuse me, guys. DPZ, which is Domino's Pizza, they got their hands in all the growing areas out there, the newer growing communities like India. They're definitely a staple over there now. We also have Eat. Eat's one to keep on there. It had a nice breakout, Brinkers International. So Eat is on an uptrend, looking very nice here, but extended from its 10-day moving average. So that is your retail restaurant. That's definitely hot area to keep an eye on. It might be one of the hottest sectors on this next push-up. So definitely put those on your watch list if you haven't done it already. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Next up is shippers. We'll go through some of the slower ones that I've got here, and then we'll go over. Dan Bob actually pointed out this. One of the gentlemen, my best moderator ever, best moderator alive, Dan Bob Dan, pointed this out to us earlier this morning, and we'll go over the best one. So I had GSL. Global Ship Lease. It's got this base that's kind of an ascending base here. And if it breaks out from this area, that might be a nice area to keep an eye on. Also, we have KEX, which is forming a beautiful area up top here. This nice little trend. I do like to play these trends. So right there. And now that it's broken above that trend, that would have been a nice area to take right here if I was more aware of it on Friday. But it's still looking good. It's a slower mover at 2.4%. Then we have SBLK, which is Starbuck Carriers. It's got this base formed right here. A breakout on that base would be beautiful. This looks more like the cup and handle that we'd want to see. So if we put this on the weekly, you can see here's the cup, here's the handle. This is where it would break out. So it's really nice to see that. It's also a slower mover at 2.2%. But then we have SHIP. We have SHIP here. SHIP moves 4.7%. Now that's a lot faster mover. That's what we want to see if you're trying to take a small account and make bigger money with it, right? If you don't have very much money in your account, or even if you have a lot of money in your account and you want to make even more money faster, I mean, I think that's what everybody wants to do. You're looking for an average daily range, or ADR, for your account to move faster. So SHIP, S-H-I-P, a shipping ship company that ships shipping ships. Right here at this base breakout, we have the alert set at $9.68. When it breaks out from that area, we want to see volume, and it has a nice area of a previous day low that you could use for your risk management. Now, again, these aren't buy or sell recommendations. This is just a big head talking on the screen. Hi, how you doing? Love to see it. We have China stocks. So China stocks are very hot. We're not going to go through all of these. I just want to point out Baba down here breaking this daily downtrend. This was pointed out by another one of our Discord members, which, by the way, you guys are more than welcome to join. It's absolutely free. You'll never hear me ever asking for your money, only your time. Lend an ear, pay attention, be willing to learn. So I guess I'm asking kind of a lot, right? But as long as you show up, you're going to learn something here, and I can always learn something from you. That's the great thing about this, is that if you show up and you're attentive and you learn, you're going to start bringing up things in the chat for myself and many of the other Discord members, the YouTube subscribers that want to key in on this. So Zamora, my beautiful Zamora, has brought up Baba when it popped up through this area. Huge downtrend here, if you guys haven't noticed yet already. But Baba created this big downtrend again after popping up here at this 120. We're all the way down here at that $73 area. It had a big pop up on volume, breaking above that 200-day moving average. And then, of course, we have earnings on the 14th. So if Baba can show more constructive ability to move to the north side, that's going to be one of the hot China stocks. We also have PDD. I've been following PDD for years now, guys, years. after I started seeing volume, much higher than average volume, start cooking down here at these bases, I decided to take a nice long in that. I'm sorry, I did not take a long in there. I took it much later in its time, but that's when it caught my attention and I started looking at it more constructively. Now forming this huge downtrend, almost looking like a BABA downtrend where it breaks up through it. It's above all of its moving averages, and the moving averages are all starting to line up now. You have your 10, 21, 30, 50, and then your 200-day moving average down here. So that is looking extremely constructive. In my personal opinion, this was the area to buy. Okay, this up here is extended now. You have to wait because if maybe not you might be able to buy at this high and it won't stop. It can't stop, won't stop. It'll rip tater chip to the north side, but it'll rip my face off if I buy extended. I promise you, it happens to me every time. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna humbly wait and be patient. So if I do want to get into the China area, I can be patient and get my bid in on something like this. Now there's plenty of other ones here. The only other one I want to go over is TME. Of course, this is also extended, but that's what you're going to see in these hotter sectors. You got to wait, give it time. We also have earnings on the 13th. So TME is looking really good here, but we want to see it pull back. We want to see it pull back. You can see that it's found a lot of its support on this 50-day moving average once, twice, but also on this 30-day moving average. So I would want to wait for this thing to come back down and play support on its 30-day moving average if I were to take a bid or play off a base breakout or play on a trend breakout. So those are a few ways that we can wait, be patient, and wait for a setup. Then we have retail internet, which I'm only going to go over the two because we already went over PDD. Okay, so PDD is retail internet, and we have Coupang. Coupang, if you guys don't remember, they increased their prices. It shot much higher up here. It's made this base here now. It's looking very constructive, and during the whole breakdown of the market, this thing held up very well. But again, we have earnings coming out on the 7th, so that's just tomorrow, and that's going to be after the market tomorrow. So Coupang, it's going to be very interesting to see where they're headed. Because they held up very well through all this downfall. AMZN is above its murky waters. So now, is this the stage 2? That's what we want to see. Is this the stage 1, or should we say stage 3 that could be a stage 4, but now is turning around and showing just this stage 2 is going to be another stage 1 before another stage 2? That would be a beautiful sight, not just for Amazon, but for the overall market, because we're nearing those all-time highs at 189.77. So if AMZN wants to continue higher, this would be a great place for it to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I love to see it. And we already went over PDD, so we know that internet retail is looking very good. Now, with the tentative earnings, we want to look at some of these gap ups, and I'm going to take a sip. So this would be a great chance if anybody has any questions, or if you have any tickers you want me to look at, go ahead and bring them up. If not, I'm going to take a sip, and then we'll go over what I currently am holding in my account, and we'll go through the dollar amounts and stuff like that, because I don't really care if you guys know how much I'm making or not. Or losing, for that same matter. I could be losing money. That's part of trading, though, too, guys. You know, if you're following somebody that says they have 100% strategy and they never lose, then you're talking to a liar. You have to lose, and you're a loser unless you're learning. Remember that motto. You are a loser unless you're learning. And that's what I love about this group that we have in this Discord, because we are always learning. We're always helping each other learn. There's been multiple situations when books that we go over, or tickers that we talk about, or different stage analysis that we go over. We're constantly learning from each other. That's why I always try to give back to the community, because you guys are always helping me out greatly. So thank you guys for being here. Okay, so back at it. Let me just run through these. So these are the earnings. We have, wow, that's an interesting one right here. PRFT. So let's figure out what PRFT is. PRFT. big gap up. Engages in the provision of digital consultancy services. It provides services primarily to healthcare, financial services, manufacturer. All right, so let's look at the quarterly. It looks like they're doing good on quarterly and annual earnings. Let's look at its earnings now. So at 0.59, it's earned a big surprise on that. It's gapped up over 53% here. And it's gapped up, it looks like, over that area of resistance, and it was beat down previous. So it's looking like this could be a very, very good one to keep on our watch list. So I'm definitely going to watch that this morning. FRPT, a big gap up over all of its resistance areas. Not blue skies, but might be in an area of resistance. Definitely these are some that I'm going to have to go over here. Let's see this one here. So these first two, PRFT is going to be a good one. I'm going to have to dig deeper on with only 25 more minutes left to go. I'll have to dig a little deeper on before I get too excited. That's about the only thing I'm seeing that's going to be the best, which is good for me because I really don't want to have to go over a ton of stuff. So PRFT might be a really good one to keep my eye on, especially with all that extra volume down there. I can see somebody knew something was going to happen, so that's looking really good. Okay, so I'll bring that back up later. Let's go over my current account position, and then as long as we don't have any questions, we're going to call that good. Can we look at AV? Yeah, we can look at AV. So B Stewie wants to look at AV. Guys, this is in your drone technology. I'll just read this to you really quick, AV. So we all have a better understanding of what it is. AeroVironment Incorporated engages in the design, development, production, support, and operation of unmanned aircraft systems and electric transportation solution. Okay, so drones, anything services that is unmanned. Okay, so AV AeroVironmental. I believe they're using this in the war in Ukraine right now. I actually have a contract with them, and they're giving them all those unmanned air vehicles. You guys, you can clearly see that this thing had a nice base breakout here, and now it's just doing its thing. Okay, so what you want to see is this to hold support above these moving averages now, and if it ever is to pull back, it's going to retest and continue higher and higher and higher until it forms a new base. So we can go back here, and you can see this had a base breakout, big gap up on earnings. It came back, it retested this area of its earnings. In my humble opinion, it broke down. I would have stopped out break of this 21-day moving average, but then you can see when it broke out above it again, it held the 21-day moving average and stayed above this 10-day until earnings came out, and then it broke back down. So it's looking very, very good right there. So right now we want to see it do the same thing, hold that 10-day moving average so it can show that it is on a breakout. It is on a nice trend to the north side, and the second it starts to pull back and get below this 10-day moving average, that's when I personally would be out the way I trade. So AV is looking really good here, B Stewie. All right, if we don't have anything else, we're going to go over what I'm in. So I took a breakout trade on RDNT. I won't be in this for much longer because we have earnings coming out on the 9th. I took this breakout right here at 49.84, bought the perfect breakout on the perfect volume. And if this thing wants to come back down and stop me out for break even, that's just fine. I'm going to go ahead and set my stop loss. So we're only up about $70 on this trade. I'm willing to risk that $70. I'll give it all back because I could care less about this measly 50 shares. That might be a bad attitude to have. If you think it's a bad attitude, leave it in the comments section. But you know, it's not. It was a breakout. I don't care for the sector. I don't have a lot of conviction in this. Also, with earnings coming up here, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to do my best to let it run. If it wants to run with the overall market, let's let it run. You know, let's see it. Of course, I'm holding long-term positions in VTI and VOO, which those I don't really look at, but I want everyone to know it's very important to always have a long-term account. That's something that you can dollar cost average into, that you never touch, you never pull out. It's for the future, or your children's future, or even your children's future, if you're into that. Next up, I have NVIDIA. I'm still holding NVIDIA. This last piece, I'm up about $440 on. That's relative to you. I don't know if that's a lot or a little to you, but to me, that $440 could end up being a potential, $1,000, $2,000, depending on where this wants to go. But I am expecting a pullback, so I'm willing to not give all of it back. I want to see this stay above a 10-day moving average, so I'm giving it plenty of room to work here. So we're going to see if it wants to do that. I'm also in ANF, which is Abercrombie. We're up about $100 on that. It's looking very constructive. I played this on a daily downtrend breakout. You can see here's the downtrend. It broke out of that, so I took a bid. I did have a bid previous, but I wasn't very confident that the market was going to hold all of that, so I ended up exiting and then re-entering on a nice little base breakout there on intraday. And also I have Tesla. So Tesla, we're up about $142 on this last piece. Remember, in all of these, I've already taken money out. NVIDIA, ANF, and Tesla. I've already taken out money, so that way I can lock in some of those profits right away. It's like a psychological thing for me to make sure that I'm already in the money. I've already locked in money. So we're up $50 on the day on it. We're up 141 total on this last piece. And we're going to see if Tesla wants to continue to hold out in these areas. I'd love to see Tesla head to the north side, not just because I have some money in it, but because I have some money in it. No, in all theory, I don't usually take these types of trades because it is below a declining 200-day moving average. So it kind of goes against my grain, but I'd love to see this volume come in here, and then it's trying to hold a lot of its gains. And with the overall market starting to head back up, I'm hoping that we, and I say hope respectfully, I am hoping that we can see a change in its trend. And if it wants to do that, I would be happy to continue to hold. So other than that, guys, that's what I'm watching. That is your overall flow. That's what I do each and every morning. That's what we do in our Discord to get us involved before market open, and it's 20 minutes before market open. So now I'm just going to go over, the markets for the rest of the time being, watch how, the SPY is reacting. I watch on the 1 hour or the 5 minute just to see where it's sitting at before the open. Everything can change at the market open. This thing could just fail, but we are expecting, some resistance at that 50-day. So maybe not fail, but pull back, maybe retest. Same thing with the QQQs and the IWM. They're all looking very constructive. And then that's what we'll do. Then we basically go back through that whole process so we can keep an eye on all the stocks. And then of course at market open, whatever alerts start going off, like I seen Kava's going to go off first thing this morning. I want to bring up Kava. I want to see how is Kava acting. And look at this, Kava is breaking out right now, guys. We're almost all new highs again for Kava. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Kava wants to do. Unfortunately, I don't usually buy in that pre-market there, but it's looking very constructive. I would love to be a part of Kava. So hopefully baby comes back and we can buy in at that breakout area, but we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But guys, if this interests you or anything, if it gives you any form of entertainment, if it interests you at all, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, join the Discord. It's absolutely free. I'm not going to ask you of any money. I don't want your money. I just want you to hang out with us and help me form a collective. So thanks for joining me. Peace.